One of the best investments that I've made in my game, just generally as a player, is customizing my hotkeys, which is something that I invested in kind of early and often throughout my sort of development in StarCraft 2. So I want to just walk through that for anybody who's never done it before. Let me back up. So first we go to menu, we go to options, we go to hotkeys, and here if you've never done anything, what you'll see is standard. And you can modify straight here, or you can create a profile from an existing one. I've already kind of done that, and I made one called Bite Size StarCraft 2. And so now we can click on any unit, and we'll see everything that they're able to do. So for instance, like a Stalker is a simple one, right? They've got the standard stuff, and they've got Blink. One thing that you might do as just kind of a quick sort of first, starter hotkey modification is if you've never used camera hotkeys or changed any hotkeys before, go to global and then camera, and you'll see that the defaults for these are really kind of difficult to hit. I mean, I've got pretty wide hands and long fingers, and I would struggle to hit Control F5 through. I guess if I use my thumb, I could hit my thumb and ring finger. I can kind of hit Control F6, F7, and F8, but it's not very comfortable. So let's go ahead and change that. So if you are going to do cameras, you're actually going to have to change the create location and the jump to. So the way we do that is we click here, and then we press the desired combination. Now we've set that to Control F1, and we'll change the jump to F1. Now notice something interesting happens here. We have one primary hotkey unbound. What that's telling us is you had something that used to be on this hotkey, F1, that you've just used, and now that doesn't apply to anything. So when you're setting hotkeys, depending on what you set, it might kind of take that up, and you'll no longer have that bound to what it was bound to before. Cameras are one that sort of globally overrides anything, so they can only be set to that one thing. So if we go to this unbound here, first, before I do that, note that we can restore. So if you make a mistake when you're doing this, you can just say, oh, wait, actually I didn't want that, and it'll undo it. Let's go ahead and say that we do want it. We should take a look at what we've just unbound, and we see that it's the command for selecting our idle workers. I'm okay with that. I feel that I can just kind of click to that if I really need it, but you can also just bind that to something else. And I really, really recommend that everybody do this. It doesn't have to be cameras that you mess with, but find some hotkey that you don't find very ergonomic and kind of switch it up and just see how you like it, and go back and reinvest in improving your hotkeys pretty often. I think that it's just a good thing for your play in general. It's always more difficult when you have a new hotkey at first, but I think that it really does pay off. If you want to go deeper on this, there are some other options. There are things like the grid layout. And if you Google for the core, that's another very popular layout that a lot of people like. I won't go into details about these. You can research. This is, a very personal choice, and you should definitely kind of feel out your options and see what you like. But do give it some thought, and if nothing else, then modify standard and swap a few hotkeys around. It'll really make the game more ergonomic and more fun.